The biggest problem right now in startups, in SaaS, in mobile apps, web apps, anything that has to do with software is that AI is going to kill your SaaS. Because if you simply create a new hot feature, a new main thing that your app or product is known about, AI is going to wipe it out because it's becoming so incredibly easy to vibe code and just simply prompt, whether with typing, text, English, your voice, speaking to the AI agent. It's going to easily replicate the key feature that before used to be a moat, where now it's easily able to be reproduced by anyone, even a simple layman who can simply pick up a tool like Codex or Claude Code and then just vibe code it in their own time. So the big question here is, how do you stand out? From conversations I've had with different people, friends, people really deep into startups, they are all noticing the same thing. And that thing is that it's becoming incredibly easy just to get wiped out with a new feature added by Claude this week, Codex. All these AI research companies are shipping products like crazy, especially now in the age of agents. So how do you stand out? I would argue that the way you stand out is with complete money models to create a whole entire ecosystem around the business that you're creating versus purely being reliant on software or some sort of tech product. And the reason why is because, one, first off, software is becoming democratized. A simple person working on your team, a regular customer, a potential client, prospect, whatever, they can easily now vibe code products where the core feature or offer that you're selling, which used to take a lot of technical debt and labor just to create it, whereas now anyone with a simple $20 a month AI subscription can create the core idea or offer that you're selling to people. And with money models, what stands out differently is that you're approaching business from a different way, and more so from like the proper internet marketing funnel way, where say you are creating a sequence or a set of offers in order to indoctrinate someone into your ecosystem. So for instance, I'm going to be showing some examples on my computer. We're going to go really deep into a few slides that I created for you on my computer to kind of show you how everything here is working and my argument for why money models are the next advantage and competitive moat when it comes to say creating an online business. Because if you're purely just going to be running paid ads into some software, your shit's going to get wiped out next week by AI, right? Like how they're wiping out literally thousands of startups every single week. Whereas say if you have a complete money model where say you have lead magnets, upsells, downsells, cross sells, maybe say community offers, maybe some sort of service, maybe say some sort of webinar, lives that you're doing where you're selling to audiences on, say, TikTok Shop or whatever, you are differentiating your product and offers by default because you have a sequence of offers that people can go through, learn more about you, educate them about their problem. Maybe you can reveal something about the problem and then really indoctrinate them into your whole entire business ecosystem, right? And that ecosystem really is just email list. But on top of the email list, you have a bunch of different directions and offers that you can take people to, right? Because at the end of the day, if you can acquire customers, raise their LTV and make them more valuable to your business, so you have a really strong retention rate and repeat buyer rate, then you're not going to really ever go out of business because you have people constantly coming back to you for more offers and things that they are becoming dependable on you. Versus say, if you're purely mainly reliant on just one key offer, one key feature or whatever it is, like say for instance, calorie tracking or say some other sort of basic tracker anyone can create. I can go into my agent or say I can go into my own coding tool and I can easily spin up the same exact product, especially if I don't want to pay for your subscription, right? I mean, I'm very well versed when it comes to say development, but the consumer probably not so, but very soon it's going to become so ridiculously easy where you can print and create UI on demand. So we're not that far from that, right? So now it's really just about thinking in advance into the future, how you can start preparing now so you can have the competitive business advantage. And let's just go right into the computer, show you more what I'm talking about, because this is going to be the next advantage in terms of how you can actually stand out, front cash so you always have cash available, and how you can fund your future operations so you don't get wiped out by the next big AI feature release. All right, so SaaS is dead. I'm going to be walking through some slides here, some of the ideas, and then just some examples of what I mean by money models and how you can differentiate, right? So we're going to be walking through a few money models, just some of my core ideas here to help you understand what I'm talking about, how to differentiate, how to actually survive in the age of AI when startups are just dying week by week with these new models coming out. So like I said, Codex, Claude Code, agents, vibe coders, a lot of AI or these new AI models that are coming out, they're becoming so advanced that you can pretty much just wipe out a whole entire startup with the next feature set that just gets released on any of these big AI agent platforms, right? Whether it comes to health data, finances, or some new connector or plugin that one of these platforms create, your platform can pretty much just get wiped out because the moment it's integrated into, say, Claude Code, Codex, you don't really need anything else, right? And the problem is, how can you survive that when, say, one comprehensive $20 a month subscription on a platform can pretty much solve 80% plus of my needs versus your startup that is charging two, three, four, five times that, right? Really depends on what you're doing, but that's kind of the idea here. So yesterday at some point, your product was the thing, right? It was hot, but the moment people start finding about these AI tools, as they become more popular, as they start ramping up how big their awareness campaigns are, well, turns out that your AI just got absorbed, right? Maybe acquired by one of these companies, and now it's part of their ecosystem, and now they're offering a much more sexier offer for their customers and clients versus you, right? Like, why should we go to you when, say, you can just get it from one of these big companies or even just create it yourself, right? And where do you come into the picture? Unless you have some serious network effect or some other advantage, you are not going to survive another day of light. Anyone can build now, right? That's kind of the whole idea of software becoming democratized. And it kind of makes a lot of sense because a lot of these tech people who are creating these AIs and things like that, you want to pretty much expedite how fast you're creating code, right? Creating your own tools, how fast and efficient you are with your own agents. I mean, some of these developers now, I mean, you can produce 20x to 100x the output of what you did before. And it's insane how much you can actually produce with AI agents. You can have and run simultaneously in parallel AI agents in like 5, 10, 20 different chat windows all at the same time, because you can create and set up an AI agent. It goes out there, spins and works for, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 plus minutes. It creates a work. And what do you do in the meantime, right? So if you're actually productive with your time and you're creating other chat windows to talk about other problems, other feature sets, other things you want to work on, that is how you can spend your time more productively with AI agents, while your other agents in their own chat windows or conversation history, they're doing something else, right? And now the new trend is where bots are managing their own bots. So that's why you can see ideas like team leads and team leads being able to have access to narrow AI, where these team leads are basically coordinating narrow AI to go out there and perform different jobs. So I created a mini video in my last video in terms of this concept of like how now team leads can manage narrow AI. And on top of all of that could just be an orchestration layer of the single orchestrator agent that you are now talking to. So you can see here that there is a new trend emerging of, one, anyone can build, and two, you having access to different sort of agent team leads in narrow AI that can pretty much do all the work for you, where it's becoming incredibly fast just to pretty much create anything imaginable. It's insane. So now software per se is becoming a commodity. Anyone is going to be able to have access to it and spin up different UI. So there's still a time window in terms of how valuable it is in terms of like what you can do, right? But it's kind of like Dropbox and, say, Google Drive. They're pretty much commodities now because, I mean, why should I choose Dropbox or, say, Box or maybe, say, Google Drive? It's really just a preference at this point. It's just pretty much offering the same thing. It's like, why should I choose this one toilet paper brand over another one? So software is going to become very much like that very, very soon. So how do you escape, right? And my core argument here is not to build another app or ecosystem of apps, because anyone can easily replicate that. It's to build a complete money model or a sequence of offers around your business, because you want an ecosystem which is more harder to replicate versus, say, just another app anyone can spin up in the same day. Because a money model, at the end of the day, it's a sequence of different offers that pretty much solve the core problem that your ideal avatar has. So it's a combination of having a lead magnet, which is basically some sort of free offer, free thing, maybe like a free trial, maybe a $1 offer, something anyone can consume very fast and for free. Because then what you can do with a lead magnet is you can collect their email list. In internet marketing and in the internet business world, the core actual business is the actual email list and not the actual user base. While on one hand, sure, there is an argument for the user base actually being the customer list, because sure, like they are within your ecosystem, but can you actually legally contact them? Unless they opted into your email list, you can't, right? And that kind of goes into, say, spam laws and stuff like that. So you kind of want to be careful about that. Whereas, say, with an email list, you're acquiring the emails legally through an email lead magnet or some sort of lead magnet. You can send someone a book. You can send some sort of free information. You can maybe, say, in exchange for the email, offer them some sort of trial or something like that. You're collecting it legally. And now what can you do? On the back end, once you have the email list on the back end, you can send them out a bunch of offers. You can send them out, say, coaching offers, service offers, programs. You can send them subscription offers. You can cross sell these email lists into, say, affiliate networks. You can send these email lists more offers or more ideas that you are promoting, maybe, say, even live events, whatever it is. So you have all these sorts of front end offers. And then the moment you have, say, an email list, you can present to them a front end offer. So if you have an actual complete money model on the front end and what you can do here is when you're offering someone a free lead magnet, just because you gave them value up front, now these people may trust you more. So because you have, say, the trust factor already built in, now what you can do on the front end itself, you can actually give people upsells, cross-sells, order bumps. The reason why I was able to scale so fast in, say, my time in the ecom era is because I get my money paid back way sooner, way faster in a matter of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 business days versus, say, in subscription SaaS, something like that. Sometimes it takes up to 7 days, 5 business days. And when it comes to mobile apps, it takes up to like 30 days plus just to get your money back, which makes it incredibly difficult just to scale. So then when you have the front end offer intact, then what you can do there is then on the back end, it makes sense. It makes more sense to run paid advertising or just to advertise to the people in your email list through Ascension offers to sell them into, say, your software, your subscription, your back end offers, or something that's more higher ticket. And what you see here just behind me itself is just continuity, right? So I know here it feels kind of redundant with continuity and subscription software, but it's pretty much the same thing. And just to show you what I mean is like, here are just 3 different businesses that actually have strong funnels. So, I mean, at the core, they're all software. So we're going to be talking about ClickFunnels, Hyros, and also Nebula. So if you don't know anything about Russell Brunson or say like Alex Becker, these guys have super strong internet marketing backgrounds, right? So from email marketing to front-end offers, creating different internet marketing offers, you pretty much get the person indoctrinated into your whole entire business ecosystem, where then on the back end, you can sell them your core offer. So the core offer here for ClickFunnels is obviously this tool, which is pretty much like Go High Level, where you can pretty much create your own marketing funnels, right? So the way Russell Brunson does it is you can either enter your email list and then get taken into a series of various different emails sequences, where from there you can sell people live webinars, events, tickets to that, or even get indoctrinated into various low ticket book offers. So if you're familiar with Russell Brunson, he has these various different .com secrets, expert secrets books, where it pretty much indoctrinates people into the whole idea of ClickFunnels, where you can pretty much solve all your problems with having a funnel. And then from there, the next obvious step is to actually buy and use the ClickFunnels offer. For Alex Becker, where he has Hyros, which is pretty much his attribution tracking software, he does something similar, but it's a bit different. It works more so of like a book a call funnel, where what you do, if you looked at any of his advertising, is he pretty much gets the email list, or he produces a lot of free content on his YouTube channel. And from his YouTube channel, he gets you into the community. He offers a bunch of value, a bunch of, say, live webinars, where you can see here every single week they're throwing live Q&A webinars. Sometimes it's with Alex Becker, sometimes it's with someone else who's like a massive media buyer, spender, like up to like 9 figures in media buying. And then from there, what they do on these webinars is they pretty much pitch the person into a book a call sales script to pretty much buy their software, and they'd be selling their software for like a full years of subscription, anywhere from, say, like 10K plus, right? So very lucrative, very easy way to grab the lead, the contact information, and then from there put them into a bunch of series of back-end offers. And it doesn't mean you're going to sell them right away on that funnel, because you can continue adding value to the community and keep on getting people back into these webinars to sell them your core offer, which in this case it's Hyros. And then here's a more so of like a consumer play. So when it comes to actually like any of these spiritual apps, weight loss apps, whatever, you'll notice that quiz funnels are quite popular. And this is a very easy way, especially for consumers, how to capture email lists. Because when you capture someone's email list through, say, something very consumer friendly like this, like, oh, what's your aura, right? So something kind of corny like this, but whatever. I mean, it works for the space. And what you do here is you take the quiz. The person takes the quiz, goes through a sequence of steps, and then from there, after, say, whatever you produce or whatever answers and options you select, you receive your result, right? And the result is probably something blurred out. And if you want to get the full entire answer, what happens is it prompts you to upgrade, right? So that is one set of multi-sets of offers that this business is going to offer you, right? So it offers you something basic, whether it's a simple subscription, which I don't recommend, or something where they can take value from right away. So if this Aura, say, quiz thing was selling you some sort of value around Aura readings, right? It should probably sell you the full entire Aura reading, because then on the back end, you can get the lead into an email list. And from the email list, you can sell them your subscription and take them into more offers. And by the way, this business here produces 40 million in yearly revenue. So they have a super strong quiz funnel. But nonetheless, all these businesses here are producing a crap ton of money. And subscriptions are incredibly difficult to scale, because think about it, in software, the reason why a lot of people accept venture capital or fundraising or any money from angel investors, incubations, or whatever is because of how negative you go in the beginning before you're even breaking even or profiting. So the curve kind of looks like this, because you launch your product and then you go red because you're negative, and then there's going to be a certain payback cycle It could be, say, 3 months, it could be 3 weeks. It depends on what kind of offer you're selling and who you're selling it to before you're basically breaking even and even profiting, which is a huge problem in software, especially to in very capital intensive startups like hardware for sure. Because you need R&D, sometimes you need to create the actual product, you may need to run pilot programs. So it can become very expensive very, very fast. So with softwares and subscriptions, it's very difficult to scale because let's say it takes $30 just to acquire a customer. And if your monthly subscription is $10 or your weekly subscription is $10, right? Let's say the CAC is $30. It will take you 3 payback periods before you're breaking even. And only after the third period, if the person still hasn't churned, only then you're profitable, which is a huge problem because if you have high churn, you will be indefinitely red. And the real game for you is just really going to be about how you can continuously acquire more customers profitably because you have so many customers already paying you these subscriptions, right? And that can become chaos in itself. And here it kind of goes over kind of what I'm talking about, right? Like unless you're doing organic marketing, which is the closest way as possible you can get to having a CAC of 0, you're going to be red from day one, right? And then especially if you're in mobile apps, it takes you up to like 4 to 6 weeks just to get your payments back. And then depending on how many times the person has actually paid for their next billing cycle, if they're still there before you're breaking even or profiting, only then you're profiting, right? So it could take a few billing cycles before you're even profitable. And the real alternative to actually make this work, which is kind of becoming like a low-key trend in, say, software because people are realizing this, or I don't know if people are just kind of catching up to, say, the internet marketing world, whatever. But the best way to get paid is on the front end. And the way you do that is you design offers specifically built for the front end and not just advertise the back end offers. So a back end offer is more so like a subscription-based offer because it takes multiple payment cycles before you're even profitable. Whereas, say, if you're using an appropriate front end offer, such as like an ebook, it could be a course, it could be coaching, it could be some sort of service implementation, it could be some sort of low ticket product, low ticket offer, whatever that is, you're breaking even on the front end or maybe slightly unprofitable. But nonetheless, even if you're slightly unprofitable, you're acquiring highly qualified prospects because these prospects that are indicating to you that they're spending some set of money with you already, you can easily retarget them or you can upsell them through a sequences of other offers that they're more likely to buy. Think about it. Would you rather actually be marketing and email marketing to a set of customers and prospects who are actually paying for your money or just a bunch of freebie takers with no sort of skin in the game? So if, say, you have a lead magnet on the front end, you offer them a low ticket offer and you're sending them into, say, some sort of higher ticket back end, I don't know, book a call funnel where it sells like a super high ticket offer, you're much more likely to get them to become a paying client. And then, say, 7 days or 14 days from you acquiring that customer, you could be, say, 3, 4, 5, 10x as profitable versus, say, running a subscription based offer on the front end. And then it takes you, say, a couple payback periods before you're even breaking even or profiting, which could take a lot of time and effort just to fully nail. So it's very difficult to scale and get that breaking even or even profiting on the front end. So I kind of just mentioned this, but rather than, say, running cold ads and cold traffic to, say, a SaaS page, unless you have like a lot of clout, you have a lot of big brands, some sort of super strong network effect, it's much more effective and efficient for you to run cold paid advertising into top of the funnel direct response marketing funnels, where then on the back end through the email list, you're actually pitching them your core subscription or offer. Because think about it. Let's say you have a hardware that does something. Let's say this hardware is like a health fitness tracker app. Like let's just say for this case, sleep tracking. If you know that someone has to actually purchase your sleep tracking device, and then from there you want them to indefinitely be spending money on a subscription, it's much more harder to do that because first off, this is like a mid-ticket offer. So it's probably going to cost just like retail is probably going to cost like $100, $200+ just to acquire that. And then from there, you have to put the person on the subscription backend. That's very difficult to do, right? And there's only a certain amount of people that can actually do that. So before R&D, before, say, all these pilots, and before you actually hit product market fit, that's a lot of work to do. So what can you do in the meantime to, say, front cash and start being profitable from day one? Is to build low ticket offers or some sort of offers where from the beginning you can sell some sort of coaching, implementation, knowledge, information, course material about sleep, right? So imagine selling a $7 to $27 ebook on the front end about sleep, revealing someone all the problems about their sleep, why they have these sleep problems. You get them to the email list, you throw live webinars, or say you throw them other sort of events, offers in the meantime, where what you can do with all that information is then eventually pitch these people because they're highly qualified already in your ecosystem to buy your stuff because they already bought like some sort of information. From there, give them the next obvious solution, which is a sleep tracker app or, say, hardware device for their sleep problem. Another great business that does this and who the founder actually has a lot of experience in, say, internet marketing funnels and selling courses is actually Samcar. So they're a payment processor, but what you'll notice about them is that they're more than just a payment processor. Now I think they recently have been pivoting into creating AI digital products, such as ebooks, courses, workshops, things like that, because I think they realize the opportunity here. And what they do is, like, once you enter their funnel and you say you show interest in their actual business by entering your email here, they're going to pretty much educate you how to use their Samcar AI to create these ebooks, right? And then what you'll notice through their email marketing is the actual founder pitching live webinars, events, and courses, and even selling implementation to show you how to use Samcar AI just to create your own digital info product, workshop, or course. And then from there, it indoctrinates you into using their Samcar product, because if you use Samcar as the infrastructure to build all your products because of how easy they make Samcar AI to create everything, then it makes it the next obvious steps to use it, right? So rather than going out there and use something else, the guy's providing value immediately, how to make money with, say, ebooks, courses, etc. And then from there, he pitches as the next natural step, Samcar as a solution. So like the new front door, have a front door offer, like a proper front end offer. So whether it's a quiz funnel for like consumers, so, a quiz funnel right there, lead magnets, free tools, low tickets. Using free tools or creating free tools for customers is a very popular way how you can attract email lists, especially in SaaS. You'll notice a lot of free tools being offered as ways to capture emails. Like, for instance, you go to like these website speed trackers or maybe these SEO optimization websites, and what they'll do is they'll offer and reveal the problem to you if you provide them your email address, and then they'll give you, like, say, a snippet of information. From that information, they'll be like, okay, hey, if you want to fix this, use our software. So it's the easy way how you can provide value upfront, collect the email, and then just constantly have a form of communication with the potential prospect. So front-end offers, they can offer you payback cycles way, way faster. Like, it could be 1 business day, 2, 3, 4, 5 business days, depends on what kind of payment processor you're using, versus, say, something like a mobile app subscription or product, or, say, like on Apple payouts, it could take up to like 30 days plus just to get paid back, which is outrageous. And the thing here is that if you're just relying purely on just, say, a mobile app, on just a web app, whatever, you're just at the mercy of that one product, right? But nonetheless, if you get it working, it works. Whereas, say, something that's more durable and you have a more stronger money model around your whole entire business ecosystem, you have lead magnets, low ticket offers, order bumps on the checkout page, service-based offers, or some sort of coaching implementation. And then you have continuity offers. So whether it's SaaS, it's community, high ticket backend implementation, you're kind of golden here. And a new trend that's actually happening now, especially like in the age of agents and stuff like that, is combining service-based agency offers, which are pretty much done-for-you solutions, with software. So one recent startup I saw trending on X, and then recently at like a Founders Inc. event, actually met the founders, is use Fastlane AI. So I'm not a sponsor of these guys or whatever, but they have a pretty genius way how they can not only acquire software subscriptions, but at the same time offer selling the implementation and a sort of service-based offer. So they do a few things, right? So the first thing is they have a subscription-based offer where you can pretty much use their product to produce content at scale. So it's pretty much like these TikTok farms, right? To get massive distribution. You can also, say, rent TikTok accounts from them. At this other end of it, what you can do is you can actually work with them. Wait, where was it? You can work with them where they say you get on a call with them and they'll pretty much manage your whole entire TikTok farm, right? So TikTok farms is one great way how you can get a lot of distribution and eyeballs on your offers. And they're pretty much offering here to work with people where say, hey, like, you can use our product and at the same time, you can also rent out TikTok accounts. And then from there, we'll do everything for you as a sort of agency. So this is also like a new hot way how to front cash up front so you just don't die right away because you have no money. So service on the front end, software on the back end. So here I also share some other different ideas you can have for front end offers. So whether it's courses, ebooks, booking a call, so like that right here, right behind me, coaching, service delivery, maybe a sort of like one-time single use software, automation, some sort of tool. Because think about it. When was the last time you woke up today thinking to yourself, today's a good day just to get another subscription? Nobody and their mom thought about that today. So the real key understanding that I want you to take away from this video is that users aren't the business, the email list is. Because when you have the email list, you can send them to more lead magnets, you can send them to giveaways, you can send them to webinars, you can send them to continuities, you can sell them to upsells, cross-sells, downsells, you can send them to new launches. Once you have the email list and you actually have the contact of the person that you want spending more money with you, you can do anything with it. Whereas say, if you're purely reliant on your one software, and God forbid something happens, maybe say your service go down, Cloudflare goes down, or I don't know, something goes down, maybe you get sued or whatnot. your whole entire business is gone. But if you have the email list, you will always be able to do something about that email list. So that's why in internet marketing, all these guys preaches build the list. So once you have the list, you can, like I said, you can, these are called ascension models, where you can pretty much ascend people from free lead magnets to low ticket offers, order bumps, webinars, programs, high ticket offers, and then continuity backends, because that just makes the most sense, right? Versus just taking people directly to subscriptions and then purely relying on that. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it's just more difficult. And especially in the age of AI, when anyone can pretty much just replicate any sort of subscription software, that's going to be very difficult for you to do. So I'm suggesting create a full end money model. And here's the beautiful thing about having money models. People don't see the back end, because when it comes to money models, you can see anything on the front end, right? How you're advertising, what kind of front end offer you got. If someone said uses your free trial or whatever, they can kind of like reverse engineer, right? It's very easy to copy things nowadays. Whereas say a back end, when someone's in your email list, I don't think a lot of people are actually paying attention to what happens in the email list, and more so how people are properly tagging and segmenting their audiences, because not everyone is going to get the same emails and offers. Because just if you want to get the high ticket offer, that's why I said earlier, sometimes what people do with these low ticket offers is what they do is they qualify people. Because if you only buy the $7 offer, the $20 offer, or something else, only then will you be tagged as a certain customer. And from there, you'll be taken to new automations and new sequences where only those customers will see. So you have to have some sort of skin in the game to see the full entire back end of some of these full on money models. Whereas say with a front end offer, you're not really going to be able to hide everything, because anyone can come to your website, understand your offer, and then try to reproduce it yourself. Whereas say with a full on back end, it's much more easier and better for you to actually cloak and hide some of the things you're doing. So that's also like another competitive advantage. So yeah, AI can copy your features, just not your money model as of right now, right? And this does take still a lot of thought in terms of how you're designing your money model. I'm not saying these AIs can't do it. Like, they could definitely help you brainstorm and stuff like that, but it does also require some human taste into it in terms of knowing your audience, how you should be speaking to them, what actually makes sense to them. So it does still require a bit of human taste. So as I've been preaching, stop building lonely apps, build full actual ecosystems, money models. I mean, if you really think about it, like some of the greatest businesses in the world, they're just really strong money models. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. Take a look, for instance, at say Apple. You buy their phones, right? But I'm not sure how profitable they are on their phones or anytime someone actually buys hardware devices, but think about it. The more their user base becomes, and say, let's just say they were breaking even with their front end offers, right? Which is pretty much the iPhone or whatever. They're not making the majority of their money until it comes to say the App Store, or say it comes to any of these subscriptions Apple offers. Because say, for instance, they drive and create a massive user base. Well, look at how much they're actually taking from all the developers. It could be anywhere from like, I think 20%, like 15% to like 30% in App Store fees. And they're making a crap load of money just from fees just on the App Store. So one last time, as I've been preaching this whole entire video, you want to build the actual machine, which is the full entire ecosystem. This is a much more stronger advantage when it comes to say having some sort of competitive advantage versus just being at the mercy of any of these AI agents that one day just spin up a new crazy feature, and next thing you know, you're out of business because anyone can spin up their own version of your app, web app, or whatever. So I would bet on the coming months on having actual proper money models versus just being dependent on a core feature that anyone can pretty much replicate. Unless you have a strong network effect or some sort of proprietary information, data, whatever it is, only then I would consider betting on it. But otherwise, I would not rely on it, especially too if you don't have a super strong 0-1 to idea, something hard to replicate, or some sort of R&D behind it. I wouldn't bet on that route. But nonetheless, like even if you are doing those things, I would still suggest having some sort of front-end offer, because if you have a front-end offer, you can start fronting cash and being cash positive. Like nobody wants to wake up being negative every single day, right? That's the whole point of a front-end money model, because if you have a money model, you can start breaking even from day one, even profiting from day one, and then from there be cash positive. So thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you think, and hope to see you in another one.